Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Happy Juneteenth. Today I will be reading you guys an essay I wrote about a month ago for my African American Studies class on a book called Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. It was an amazing read, highly suggested, 10 out of 10. It should be a required reading. I would put this in middle schools, high schools, everywhere. Required reading. Everyone should go and dive into it. But here's my essay. I entitled it, Of Us, Not For Us. Ta-Nehisi Coates eloquently wrote Between the World and Me, a book written for his son, but a book America needed. Throughout the book, Coates elaborated on the oppression and racism that comes with living in a black body in the United States. He wrote his ideas of this American dream we are all fed starting at a young age. Coates did not feed us that same dream. Rather, he unveiled his audience's eyes to a long-time covered illusion. For 250 years, black people were born into chains. Black people are still in chains. One can take this literally and figuratively. Our jails overflow with colored people, and on the outside of the jails we are still in chains. Chains that make us wear a mask in front of one crowd, and then we turn around and act ourselves with another. In this moment of taking off the mask, we feel slight relief, yet even with those we are comfortable with, we present ourselves as tough or as tough as one can be. America has manipulated us to act, walk, and talk the way they would like us to. This is true for the most prestigious colored people and for the most gangster. For when we achieve a certain level of success, we have lived our lives trying to grasp the American dream. When we are gangsters, we provide an assurance to the white people who have painted us to be angry, animalistic, and thug life. This assurance confirms their perception of us, and I feel sometimes we do not know this. Some of us put on a front to seem stronger when this front is often coming from fear. Fear or not, you tell me how it is even possible to live in a country that was designed for the success of white people and somehow still have equal access to the dream. It is not possible. The blueprints for the United States of America were made of black bodies, and the ink used to write the blueprints was in fact the spilled blood of my people. When I think of America's blueprints, I picture a dead black body, a white person dipping a feather pen made of our bones into an ink container filled with our blood, and then returning the pen back to the body, unnecessarily engraving the prints into the skin. America was not built for us, but of us. How can America offer a dream that tells black people to build their lives off their own abuse? Ta-Nehisi Coates explained that southern Manhattan was built on places where black people were auctioned and where the auctioned were buried. Like Manhattan, America as an entire country was built on the dead bodies of our ancestors. They built a country on raping, pillaging, assaulting, and killing our bodies. And they expect us to fall victim to the mirage they call the American dream. Dream where? We were born into slavery and the chains still remain. America has not made a dream for Africans. America has made a nightmare. America constructed a nation from enslaving human beings and is profiting from the brutal wrongdoings they have committed and continue to commit. The jobs we are allowed to participate in often are not even made to protect us or better us, though they do a good job at making it seem as if they are. I agree with Ta-Nehisi Coates when he claimed that firefighters and police officers were not human to him. It is hard for me to applaud anyone, even black people, for becoming firefighters and policemen. I understand that they go through much mental and physical work to obtain these types of high title jobs. I understand very well. My stepdad was an EMT, then paramedic. He's now training to be a firefighter, and I'm proud for the hard work he does, the training and studying he has to do to gain his place in the world as a successful black man. Yes, the work is intense and sometimes saves lives, but I see these types of jobs as threatening. Coates and I have the right to believe this to be so because America has done nothing but prove to us that the police and justice systems are corrupt and against black people. After all, the first police officers were overseers. These overseers were responsible for making sure the slaves did their job, did them efficiently, and stayed in their place on the plantations. They were the general managers on the plantation. They were the people that carelessly and ruthlessly whipped and ripped my ancestors' backs and bodies. And as America freed black people, police were set at corners to keep white curtains in communities. They kept and keep black people where they wanted them or want them now. Slums and ghettos are not just formed coincidentally. They were not accidentally filled with colored people, and they are not accidentally targeted with more tobacco and cigarette advertisements. It is not a fluke that these communities do not have the same high-end, high-quality grocery stores as suburban areas do. It is all in fact a tactic, a blueprint, a nightmare, not a dream, of which is set to encumber black bodies. The United States of America enjoys displaying a dream for citizens to work towards. They did not tell us that that dream is not equally attainable for whites and blacks, or that it is not something we need to have. They have painted a picture of barbecues and apple pies, block parties, and fireworks. They tell us what we want when they don't even have our best interest at heart. Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote, "I was told that the black citizens of PG County were comfortable. When have black people ever been comfortable? The white man is persistent in telling us that we are okay where we are. In reality, we are suffering. Some of us see it and some of us do not. Society has so heavily abused us that some of us only view the world as painful, then some of us do not see the lies the world is made up of. It is true, America has gotten into the heads of numerous black people. It is time to wake the dreamers of the world." Growing up in a white man's world, Ta-Nehisi knew and experienced the division of black and white people. Coates elaborated, "The galaxy belonged to them, and as terror was communicated to our children, I saw mastery communicated to theirs. While people were the ones given the American dream, white people were the ones given the American dream and the chance to grasp it. We are taught to be fearful, and they are taught to be abusers." Coates seemed to covet the fearlessness he noticed in the white boys, covet but hate. The white boys walk around without care and are allowed to mess up more, and when they mess up, they are less likely to be reprimanded for their actions, or the consequence simply won't be as much. We see this in killings. We see the way officers are in and out of jail, a quick sentence for murder, for rape. You turn around and see a black man in jail for possession of drugs on a life sentence. You turn around and see a black man brutally murdered for making a comment to a white woman, Emmett Till. You turn around and see a black woman murdered for living in her own house, Breonna Taylor. You turn around and you see a black boy murdered for walking around in a family community, Trayvon Martin. You turn around and you see America, the oppressive, manipulative, bloody, guilty, racist country, the country built on the forced capture and forced manual labor of the slaughter of my people. This is the place that shoves the American dream down your throat, not expecting you to like it, but telling you to like it. They tell us we are comfortable, that there is a dream. Dream or not, it's not made for us. This is not our home. This is not our dream. What do I consider the American dream to be? It's a lie to my people and a silver spoon to the white people. Up until this point, I have elaborated on the truth of the American dream. The views Ta-Nehisi and I have greatly differ from those I was taught in high school. The following list is of books I read and was taught throughout the years of my career as an American student. Grapes of Wrath, Great Gatsby, Of Mice and Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, and The Catcher in the Rye. We were taught to believe the dream is within everyone's reach who works hard and is honorable. We were taught to search for the American dream in life and in text. We were not taught to search for the racism and oppression held within our novels, textbooks, and life. We were not taught to notice the lack of black representation in our schools or in our country. The American education system is not honorable. As Coates stated, the American dream was gilded by novels and adventure stories. It is not that I did not enjoy any of these readings, rather, I was reading from a different lens. If I were to go back and read those same novels, I would notice so much more than a dream. Some choose to live in ignorance, and others are plain ignorant. As Black people, we do not get the choice to be ignorant or oblivious to our exploitation and persecution. It is in our faces daily, for this is our life, and these are our Black bodies. Coates wrote that it was a privilege for others to live in ignorance, and my thoughts coincide. There is power and pain in the consciousness of our abuse. America knows that Black people are capable and dominant. For this reason, they used us for the building of their nation and continue to use us. They indulge in our music, our television shows and movies, our fashion and hairstyles, our food and culture. There is no them without cultural appropriation. There is no them without us. In a world where we must contort our bodies, looks, and speech, the American dream is not true to us. We cannot lean on the United States as the dreamers do, as white people do. Though Ta-Nehisi Coates and I differ in our religious beliefs, I am Christian. We must put our subcategories and differences aside and become united as Black people. Malcolm X said to not see our brothers and sisters as Muslim Black people, atheist Black people, or Christian Black people. We will drown in our indifferences. We have to do what really matters. We have to stop fighting each other as the white man wants. They relish in our fights. We need to come together, fight together, support each other together. We cannot stop them from the brutality and cruelty they put upon us. They must awaken themselves. We can help awaken them through spreading knowledge and texts, but it will be at their own will that they will change. That change will totally be made. They have to understand our pain, take blame, want to learn, and want to make the world a more just place. If they do not, we will be stuck in a country full of illusions and fantasies made of us, not for us. That concludes my essay for the book Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. That was just a bit of analyzing and giving my insights and ideas relating it to my life and my going through schooling, I hope that everyone likes this essay. I put a lot of heart into this essay, and I really wanted to post it on Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. Black Lives Matter. Continue spreading Black Lives Matter. Continue spreading Black love. Support Black communities, Black people, and come together to make differences. And continue to spread Black literature, because it's very important to obtain knowledge and be able to spread the knowledge of our oppression that was and is continued, because you can't attack a problem without addressing it. But I hope you guys have a great day. Happy Juneteenth.